This video from the Famous Personalities series is about Alice Paul. Alice Paul was born on January 11, 1885, in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. She grew up in a Quaker family that valued equality and social justice. These early influences shaped her beliefs about women's rights. Alice was educated at several prestigious institutions, including Swarthmore College and the University of Pennsylvania. Alice Paul became involved in women's suffrage while studying in England. She joined the Women's Social and Political Union, where she learned about militant tactics for activism. After returning to the United States, she applied these methods to the American women's suffrage movement. Her education and experiences helped her become a strong leader. Alice Paul played a key role in advocating for women's right to vote. She organized many protests, including the famous 1913 March in Washington, D.C. This event attracted thousands of participants and gained national attention. Her efforts helped to keep the issue of women's suffrage in the public eye. In 1916, Alice Paul founded the National Woman's Party to focus on women's suffrage. The organization used more aggressive tactics than other groups, including picketing and hunger strikes. These actions brought greater visibility to the struggle for women's rights. The National Woman's Party became a crucial force in the fight for the vote. Alice Paul was arrested multiple times for her activism, especially during protests. While imprisoned, she went on hunger strikes to protest the treatment of suffragists. Her determination drew attention to the harsh conditions faced by women fighting for their rights. These actions highlighted the need for change and increased public support for the suffrage movement. Alice Paul's tireless work contributed to the passage of the 19th Amendment in 1920. This amendment granted women the right to vote in the United States. It was a significant victory for the women's suffrage movement and for Alice Paul personally. Her leadership and commitment made a lasting impact on American society. After achieving women's suffrage, Alice Paul continued to fight for women's rights. She focused on issues like equal pay and the Equal Rights Amendment. Paul believed that legal equality was essential for true freedom. Her work after the 19th Amendment showed her dedication to social justice. Alice Paul's efforts have had a lasting impact on women's rights in the United States. She is remembered as a pioneer for gender equality and a leader in the suffrage movement. Many organizations today continue to fight for the rights she championed. Her legacy inspires new generations to advocate for equality. Alice Paul received many honors for her contributions to women's rights. In 1985, she was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame. Various schools and organizations are named in her honor, celebrating her achievements. Her work remains a significant part of American history and women's rights activism.